Much love and many blessings. We are moving on to the sign of Leo, and we're going to be dropping the wisdom from the Aquarius season. And honestly, Leo, especially with the full moon kickoff, really early on, not too long into the Aquarius season. Full moon Leo, it definitely initiated a lot of pride, illumination. Leo being the sign of the sun, tends to illuminate things or sheds a lot of light on situations. It gives a lot of energy to the consciousness. And when awareness is actually in alignment, the ego is the sign that sees the physicality or the things for what they actually are within their boundaries. So dealing with the unknown, especially dealing with a sign that emits so much light or can want to be so regal and want to always be warm, sometimes there can be a bit of a dryness with that as well. And the dryness being the fixedness or the association of, once I have this thing, I want to keep doing this and I want to have as much of this thing that I want as possible. So when anything takes away from that ideal, that warmth, darkness can really put a big damper on, especially Leos in particular, because you have a tendency to brood, or you may have a tendency to just really hold on to things and can really get into a state of depression when things aren't presented to you the way that you would like. You may be in a position, and since we've been definitely when I was channeling with spirit, the two pull messages, let me kind of get into that too. Just seeing this Five of Pentacles, I'll be delving into that a little bit more. That whole sensation of feeling like you're in the right place, but maybe feeling as if you're locked outside or forgot your keys. It's like you're here, but it's not really as beneficial as it could be. And I feel that I found the group where I'm in the right place, but there's just this missing piece. And ultimately, with this showing up as well, you may feel that you should have possessed the missing piece and are simply locked out because it either hasn't been extended to you, or you have to wait for somebody else to show up and provide you with something that you know that you should have. So since we've still been dealing with these states of Kali's iterations and her wisdom, Leo for this season and the Aquarius season, we pulled Kali Kal Masa Nasini. So this is in translation dealing with the devourer of the darkness, or finding that light. So the darkness, especially when we're giving up our divinity, or let me rephrase that, we're giving up our darkness to the divine. So that would look like giving up our fears, giving up our insecurities, and the things that are depositing within our hearts. And Kali Kamasa Nasini is a particularly powerful rendition during this time, because she is the one that fashions the weapon needed to take care of any situation, to devour the darkness, to devour your karmas. Right. So, especially for my Leos during this time when we can feel this brooding or this just buildup of uncertainty, especially if we feel the coldness of uncertainty, the coldness of fears, the coldness of expectations not being met. Kali Kamasa Nasini devours the darkness within her endless hunger for light, peace, and redemption. She reaches the deepest places, the darkest spaces, relentless in her pursuit for the lost and the despairing. No soul shall ever be forgotten, abandoned, or betrayed by her. Those that believe in her, or believe in their own guilt, their sin, or their shame, evoke her mighty tenderness as she feasts upon the darkness that threatens to consume them, alleviating the weight of suffering and allowing the heart to become light and free. So Leo, especially during this time, looking back at how this month is starting, it can really bring on sensations of lack, sensations of expectations, especially if you've been feeling a little bit stagnant. This Aquarius season has been letting you know that things are getting light, but you have to make room for that light drop off. You have to give up those things in which you want to be devoured, or you want to dissipate. We sometimes, as people, but especially with Leo placements, especially if you have a Leo moon, I can say that I'm guilty of that, is when something comes up that makes you feel uncomfortable, or that triggers that trauma sensation within your psyche, that hey, the comforts that I'm used to or the foundations that I want within my psyche waters are being shaken or rattled. my home foundation, I don't know what this confusion sensation is, because the Five of Pentacles is this sensation of like your compass. Imagine if your compass was just spinning in the center. That would be like the Five of Pentacles. Yes, you have the tool you need, but it's not operating correctly. It's not operating or functioning correctly. But the reason that is because of fog and clarity, fog and opacity, and just things that put smog and obscure the clarity that you are seeking. So we have to give up these fears. You're holding on to your depression. You're holding on to the situation not being what you want it to be, or the fear that you won't have control over what's coming next. Especially as things get illuminated, your lens is literally becoming more broad. And this may create a sensation within yourself to want to hold on to the darkness that you're so used to and familiar with. That you want to hold on to that comfortness. Her name, as Kali Kamas Nasini, translates to she who consumes sin. And sin is not bad. Sin is more so forgetfulness, or taking actions that make you forget who you are. She destroys ill intent. She eradicates mistakes. Here is Kali as the supreme divine weapon. She is the archer and the arrow. She is the divine mind unleashed, so it shall raise anything built on negative foundations, and who vanquishes all evil. Hers is the power of Pashu Patrashtra. I'm probably butchering that, but it's a Sanskrit word which pretty much translates or refers to the ultimate spiritual weapon. It has the capacity to neutralize every other weapon in the universe. This divine weapon can be unleashed in numerous ways. Whether the power is delivered by an arrow or a sword, or releasing of a thought, a glance, a sound, or from the divine mind, the action is unequivocal and swift. In the blink of an eye, something once considered a solid or rock is reduced to nothing. So this also tells you too that anything that can be taken or erected, if a foundation or an empire can disappear in the blink of an eye, or when you close your eyes and you open your eyes and it's not there, that means that the things that are holding these strong foundations within your space, or that feel so erect, are really just there predicated more so off of your own influence of energy being put into the situation. So this is also letting you know that anything that's erect, Five of Pentacles, 5 is a transition number. It's not 10 of Pentacles. It's not completion. It's not 1 or Ace of Pentacles, which is a seed. This means that the energy's been put in, but it either hasn't been completed. So this is a transition or a momentum energy. So if anything is erected or standing strong or firm that you wouldn't like to be there, it means that it's there because the mental energy is there, and that you can still change the course of the direction. This shit is not solidified, and if things are currently the way they are, the momentum of consistency or complacency is maintaining the course of what things currently are. This also is letting you know that whatever you're putting your energy into is whatever weapon that you're fashioning to keep this thing going, either erected or erecting weapons to maintain defense. So what do you want to do with this energy during this time? With this Aquarius energy that's coming up, especially with the Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, this is also getting you light and coming back to things that you were thinking about in your recent past that may be putting weight on the light that you could be experiencing now. Kali Kamasa Nasini is a symbolic indication for you to look within the darknesses within your space in which you would like to get light. Whenever you feel heavy, there's some type of darkness, there's some type of stagnation, there's some type of group or socializing of people, perception that you're holding, some type of karmic pattern that you're still going through that is weighing on you. This is a call that's asking you where you would like to be when you're at your halfway point. What would make your situation better? What can you take and improve upon? What can you sacrifice? What is literally calling you to sacrifice your darkness so that you can emit more light and be lighter and vibrate higher, to move into something more fruitful for yourself? Aquarius is the sign of advancing technology. So what thoughts and technology and what things can be advanced or improved upon within your space? This also means that it's talking about something that's already existing, that you already put the work into, or that already holds a value of importance to you. Let this resonate within your spirit as you take your divine breath. and ask yourself in what ways that you can give up your darkness and what weapons you have that can emit more light within your space. Many blessings and Ashe. Thank you for tuning into this message. Definitely drop a comment and make sure to subscribe to the Lotus Speaks for more intuitive insight, and many blessings.